In light of the ongoing VERO removals and counterfeit claims that sellers continue to receive, well, only you are going to have your back. And I want to talk about that here on the other side. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy, and today I wanted to make this video about your account health and who has your back. And I hate to say it, guys, I want so badly for eBay to have our backs as sellers. And this isn't a poor us video, this is just the way it is. And so this video is sort of inspired by conversations that we've had on the live streams. If you're not watching the live streams, you got to check it out. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, Mondays and Fridays, 2 times a week. And we get into a lot of good discussions. Also inspired by Josh Galt's channel. He makes a live stream. He does it Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern. So check that out if you haven't. But a lot of good discussions have been happening recently. And there's a lot of concern about the fact that a buyer, or just really anyone, can go on and complain about a specific item as being counterfeit when there's no proof needed. They just file a simple complaint. And or VERO, where companies will, or alleged companies, a lot of times it's bots in the back office at eBay, will flag a listing, whether it's legit or not, under the guise of a VERO takedown. Now, VERO is verified rights owner removing or asking eBay to step in to remove a listing because they don't want their item sold on the platform. Now, your account health is much more than those things. Some sellers have never even encountered any of those. You guys know that I encountered a lot of problems with VERO earlier in the year and late last year, to the point where earlier this year I ended up getting suspended erroneously, where it only was a day instead of 3 days. And because I fought it, it was basically removed after the first day, but the damage was already done. And unfortunately, when things like this happen to your account, you get a return. You know, it's unwarranted, an INAD. You don't agree with it. You did everything you're supposed to do as a seller, yet the buyer is claiming something that's not true to get out of paying for the return. And what happens is these things all count against your account health, which I think is the bigger picture. And so this video really isn't about complaining about the existence of VEROs, the existence of counterfeit takedowns, the existence of, returns and things of that nature. This is all part of the business, part of doing business. But what happens is, regardless of your tenure on the site, so you can have 20 plus years selling on eBay, and someone that just pops up on eBay yesterday to buy your item buys it, gets it, doesn't like it, complains, and ends up opening an item not as described return case, an INAD. Well, guess what? Guess who eBay is going to side with? They're not going to side with you. One thing that you have to consider when eBay is looking at the bigger picture for eBay, they consider the shareholders. That's their number one priority. Then the buyers. That's their number one customer. And then the sellers fall right in behind those two. And that's just the way, the hierarchy of who gets the benefit of the doubt. Of course, any buyer can come in and say anything they want. They can claim your item's counterfeit. They can report your item. A company could come in and report your item as being VERO, where there's still maybe a dozen of the same from other sellers on the site, yet they take yours down only. And you can bring it to their attention when you do contact eBay, and they kind of just shrug their shoulders as to, what do you want me to do about it? They turn a blind eye when we bring other similar listings to their attention. It's almost like they do the bare minimum to take down what they have to take down and leave up the listings that they have to leave up or they want to leave up, because they're trying to capitalize on fees from those sales. And only if specifically someone complains about those listings, will they take them down? Or if you're on their blacklist, like my account is in the back room at eBay, then you have to be on your P's and Q's and be very careful that you don't list something like a hover soccer ball and have it taken down because eBay thinks it's a hoverboard, which they say is not allowed to be sold on the platform. Yet even with hoverboards, there's dozens on the site, and with this hover soccer ball that I was selling, there is at least 6 sellers that were selling the same item. Now, that was something that happened last year, and I kind of laid low for many months, and thankfully I haven't been hit with the VERO claim. Hopefully, maybe my account's out of the blacklist status. Who knows? I mean, maybe someone from eBay did go back in and look and, maybe saw that these complaints against my account early in the year were not warranted, which was my argument, which is why I was able to get my account suspension lifted. But here's the problem, guys. I think a lot of you don't want to deal with eBay support, don't want to deal with anything. Could be eBay for Business or just calling a rep on the phone. But the reality is, when you deal with these things, when you have a VERO, when you have a item that's pulled due to a counterfeit claim, when you have a issue with eBay and you can't refund a buyer because maybe they just paid you and you have no funds in your account. Happened to me before. eBay had to step in. I had to actually have them step in because I had to issue a refund to a buyer, and my sales at the time weren't so hot, and I was running past almost to the deadline where I had to refund that return. And it worked out to where they refunded the buyer on my behalf using my backup payment method, but because they stepped in on my behalf, they hit my account with a defect. And so the purpose really of this video is to get you to be more cognizant and aware of the fact that your account health is the backbone of your success on this platform on eBay. Making sales requires you to have a good account health. You're going to get better sales as a top-rated seller than you will as above average, okay? And then even taking it a step further, below standard is something where you don't want to be, because it's going to be even more difficult to make sales if your account health is that down and that bad. And only you as a seller can get in front of a lot of these things. Only you as a seller can fight for your account and to remove defects that shouldn't be there, to dispute things like late shipments. Let's say you ship on time every day. Let's say you have someone that picks up every day, yet you seem to have late shipments. Well, if you get enough of those, then you're going to be dinged. Your account's going to be dinged, and you run the risk of being notched down from top rated to above standard, which you don't want to be. Remember, everything that eBay looks at, they're comparing your account health with your competitor's account health. Just like they're comparing your promoted rates with your competitors' promoted rates, and your prices, and your photos, and your listing qualities. These are all being compared to your competition. And you are doing yourself no service if you just kind of sit back and go, you know what, I'm not going to report this buyer because it was a false INAD and I just don't want to take the time. It's not worth my time. My time is money. Well, your account health is money, and if you're not taking care of your account health, you are not doing yourself a service. And that's just the bottom line. And so I guess what I would like you to take away from this video is this. Every serious seller out there should go in and check out their account health. It's as simple as going into your seller hub and then scrolling down and looking at your seller status. There should be an arrow that you click on that you can go in and it'll take you to where your defects are. And if you have no defects, then you know what, you're good. But chances are you may have a defect or two that I would actually proactively try to have removed. It's as simple as either going into Help and Contact, looking for the Contact Us button. If it doesn't offer you the option to have a callback, then go into the automated chat and ask the chat to have someone call me. and then put the reason when it asks you why you have want to call back, and that is maybe to dispute a defect or something like that. When you get the person on the line, usually from overseas, you'll just need to let them know you need to speak to someone in the authentication department because you have a question about an authentication issue. I know that that is not the reason why you're calling, but trust me, that is the only way I've found that you can successfully get a U.S. rep on the phone. So that aside, once you get someone that's competent on the phone, if you've made it that far, chances are you will, you just want to tell them, look, I need you to review my account, and here's a couple things that I am concerned about, and have them go in and take a look. And they may have to put something on your behalf over to the dispute department, which many reps do. But if you get a good rep, they may be proactive and they may take a few extra steps that the regular agent might not take. I've seen it happen for me. And that's my advice to you guys. And I think it's one of those things where we can ignore it, and for many things will be fine. Or we can choose to be proactive, and by removing some of these defects now, when something hits the fan, your account health isn't going to be hurt as bad as it would be with those things sitting in your account. But the bottom line is this. Aside from being proactive about your account health, there's really nothing you're going to be able to do as a seller to protect yourself from things like this coming at you. You just have to accept it. You have to fight it when it happens, dispute it when it happens, and just move on, because this is not a platform where you should just say, you know what, I'm done, and get fed up. You got to weather the storm. You got to understand that these kind of things are going to happen. They're not just happening to you. They're happening to other sellers as well. And you just got to move ahead, get your items listed, because there's money to be made on this platform, and that's why we're doing it. We're not doing it for any other reason than to put money into our bank accounts. And as long as there's traffic and buyers on the platform, then I'm going to be here, and you should be here too, to make money. And yes, cross list is definitely an option. You should be doing that. But I would say eBay needs to be a huge part of your process, because that is where the majority of the buyers are still at, and that's why we're still here, right? So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Are you dealing with an issue with VERO, or a takedown, or a counterfeit claim, or any other issue that's hurting your account health? And what have you done about it? Or have you done anything about it? Do you think it's a waste of your time? I think there's a lot of people out there that feel that way. But for me, I'm going to be constantly doing things to make sure that my account is number one. It's protected, so that way I don't have any, I give eBay no reasons or excuses to do anything silly to my account and hurt a very large income source that I rely on. But stepping in front of problems before they become a problem, just another example of how sometimes flipping ain't easy. And I want you to check out one of these videos. And until next time, have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone.